Good morning. Today's video is on adding and subtracting polynomials. You're very good at this. We will cover standard form, writing standard form, your answers, and then, well, all future polynomials. We're going to go over degree, again, the exponents, the number of terms, vertical format versus horizontal format. I'm just kind of laying it over, so if you want to pause it to copy it. Okay, so this is a skeleton, and then of course I'm going to just fill it in, okay? All right, so we're going to add and subtract polynomials, standard form, or as I refer to it as SF, just because, you know, it's easier to write. So this is standard form for polynomial, a polynomial written in descending order, in descending degree order. So you're talking about the exponents, the superscripts, right? So it has to be descending, so big to small, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? 8, 6, 3, 1, constant, right? So it's going from large to small, and small would be the constant, right, which is a 0. Okay, so let's go ahead and write this polynomial in standard form. So we have 7x squared plus 6x to the 8th minus 5x plus 8. Okay, what is the degree to this polynomial? Remember, your degree is the largest or the greatest superscript of the term. So this term has a 2, that's squared, right? This term has an 8. This term has a 1, right? It's 1. And this constant, it's always the 0, right? Okay, so what is the degree? It's the greatest. So if you have 0, 1, 8, 2, 8 is the largest or the greatest. So my degree is 8. And then again, how many terms? 1, 2, 3, 4. So number of terms, oops, sorry. So number of terms is 4, correct? Okay, so now your greatest exponent superscript is this term is the lead. So if my degree is 8, this term here, this positive 6x to the 8th, this is going to be my lead term. So, oh, my sleeves. Okay, sorry. So it's 6x to the 8th. Okay, so I took care of that, so I'm going to cross it out. So now you're going to have descending order. So descending order is if I went with the x to the 8th, right? The next one is x squared, the next is x, and then the next is my constant, right? That is your descending order. So from x to the 8th, then I'm going to find the 2, so positive 7x squared, because you're going to take the entire term, minus 5x, and then my constant positive 8. And so now this is your standard form, SF, standard form. This is your standard form polynomial, 4-term degree 8. 8, 2, 1, constant, descending. That's it. Okay, so now write this in standard form, this polynomial standard form. Okay, what's the degree? Well, you have a 2, you have a 5, you have a 3, and of course this is a 1, right? You can write it, you cannot write it. It's up to you. It's your preference. But remember, 1 is always implied in mathematics and in English, but in mathematics it's implied. So 2, 5, 3, 1. What's my largest? The 5, so I'm degree 5. How many terms? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I didn't mean for them to be the same. Just so happened I had 2 4 terms. Okay, so my greatest exponent is 5, and so that's what I'm going to start with. So my descending order will be 5, x to the 5. Then I have 2, 3, 1. So I'm going to write x to the 3, x to the 2, x to the 1, or just x, right? And so that is descending order, 5, 3, 2, 1. Smallest to greatest, or big to small, right? Or greatest to least. All right, so if I do that, right, remember my greatest exponent 5, that's my lead term. So 4x to the 5th, so I took care of that. Next is 3 minus 3x cubed minus 3x squared plus 9x. And so here is my standard form rewrite. Fair enough. Okay, so moving forward, all your answers must be in standard form. So whenever you're giving me your answers, make sure they are in standard form, okay? Especially because you're going to get on Edulastic as far as the answers, the solutions that you give, it's going to mark it wrong if they're not in standard form. So I mean, it's not that big of a demand. So anyways, okay, adding polynomials. So now we're going to go ahead and add. So find the sum of the given polynomials, right? So sum, meaning combine like terms. Okay, so we have 5x squared plus 3x minus 6. That's 1, right? So that's a trinomial, 1, 2, 3 terms. Plus another trinomial, right? 1, 2, 3 terms. So that's trinomial. So this is a tri plus a trinomial plus a trinomial. Okay, this positive, it's like a positive 1. So you guys know that parentheses means multiply or distributive property. But if you have a positive 1, what's a positive 1 times 3? 3. What's a positive 1 times positive 2? Positive 2. What's positive 1 times negative 8? Negative 8, right? Everything times positive 1 is itself, correct? Okay, so here we go. Let's talk about vertical format, horizontal format. These are both equally popular. You pick what you like, what you prefer. One doesn't give you more credit over the other. It just in terms of your eyesight, you know, what you prefer, what you notice, what helps you out. So I'll do them both. And again, you decide. So this video is going to be a bit long for something so kind of easy in terms of adding and subtracting polynomials. It's not a difficult concept, but this video is long because I end up having to do it 2 ways. Okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the vertical format. So the vertical format is make sure when you write them, they're in standard form, so greatest to least, and you're going to stack vertically and then you're going to combine like terms. Okay, so I'm going to write the first trinomial, and it's already in standard form, right? 2, 1, whoops, you can't see my 2, 1 constant. So I'm going to rewrite it, right, without the grouping symbols. And now I'm going to go ahead and take the second trinomial, and now I'm going to stack vertically, meaning I'm going to line it up vertically. So see how this is a 3x squared? This is an x squared. So my 3x squared term is going to lie underneath. This is a positive 2x, right? The exponent here is 1. This is a 1, so I will line it up right here. And this is a negative 8. That's a constant, so I'm going to line it up here with the other constant. And so that's what stacking vertically means. You're just going to align the like terms vertically. Okay, so now you're going to go ahead and add. And now you're going to CLT, combine like terms. So combine like terms. And so you're now just going to honor and combine only the coefficients, the numbers. You do not alter the exponents when you add and subtract. So this is not going to be an x to the 4th. No, it is x squared, x, and then whatever this constant value is. So you're only looking at the front numbers. Okay, so 5 plus 3 is 8. That's easy. 3 plus 2 is 5. And negative 6, negative 8 is negative 14. Now, there is no shame in using a calculator for your work, right? Sometimes you're trying to learn more difficult information and you mess up the basic, and there's no shame in that. So if you take the calculator, right, here's my negative symbol right here, negative 6 subtraction 8 minus 6 minus 8, there's your negative 14. Okay, so there's no shame in that. So grab a calculator, verify your work. And so there you go. And that is in standard form, and it's beautiful. Okay. Okay, what's horizontal format? Essentially, horizontal format is just drop your parentheses, your grouping symbols, drop them, and then you just combine like terms. So it's just going to be in a really long line. And so typically your teacher, if they did this, they use colored markers to kind of signify the like terms. Okay, so here we go. If I drop the first, I get 5x squared plus 3x minus 6. All right, did it right. Okay, now there's a positive. So if you distribute it, it's still the same. So I'm just going to write plus 3x squared plus 2x minus 8. Okay, so this is your horizontal format. It's just in a really long line. And so now you're going to head and combine like terms. Okay, so my 2's are my greatest exponent, so I'm going to start there. So 5x squared, 3x squared is 8x squared. 3x, 2x is 5x. and then -6, -8, -14. And so, my hand's in the way. As you guys can see, you get the same answer. Again, it's your preference. And then for those of you that are from the very beginning say, seriously, Miss Kenny, can I just go 5, 3, 8, 3, 2, 5, -6, -8, -14? Yes. Some of this adding, subtracting is very mental math. And if you can jump to there, fabulous. Okay, we're doing another one. Okay, so now here we go. We got to go over subtracting polynomials, which is the distribution of that negative. And for those of you saying, I already know how to do this, please, I get so many graded quizzes, assignments, work, where that negative sign subtraction is not honored. So for those of you that are ready to shut off this video, no, because I don't mind doing my job and grading and correcting and helping you guys, but some of you guys trying to take the shortcut and you goof it. Okay, so here we go. Find the sum. So again, VF, vertical format, HF, horizontal format. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get started. Again, this is not in standard form, so I have a 2, a 1, a constant. So I'm going to go ahead and write it in that order. 4y squared plus 8y minus 12. And now that's in standard form. Now I'm going to take the second trinomial, right, because it has 3 terms. Second trinomial, I see a constant, a 3, and a 1 exponent. It's going to go 3, 1, constant, correct? Okay, 3y cubed, I don't have one here, so you're going to bring it forward. So 3y cubed, then I have a 3y, that's under the y, right, like terms, and then constant plus 5. Okay. The fact that I do not have a term here is fine. Don't force it. Do not force these two to add together. They're not like terms. Remember, like terms have the same superscript, the same exponents. This is going to be, so our answer is going to have 4 terms. It's going to have a y to the third, y to the squared, y, and constant. And so if you combine, I know it got really squishy right there, you'll have 3y cubed plus 4y squared. 8 and 3 give me 11y minus 7. I need to verify that math right there. Okay, and so that is our standard form. And that's our answer. That's it. Okay, and remember, do not alter. This is why y is not y squared. All right, when you're adding and subtracting, you only alter the coefficients. Okay, horizontal format. Again, you just drop the parentheses, the grouping symbol, and just go ahead and write it horizontally in a straight line up. Okay, so again, so what's the greatest? 3y cubed. Next, y squared, nothing else. Next is 8y, 3y, so that's 11y. And then, of course, my constants, -7. And so I get the exact same answer here. And so again, like I said, it is preference. And then, of course, the third method would be just the mental math and you just combining it out. Okay, let's subtract. I know this video is long, but I don't feel like stopping it and then creating another video. Okay, subtracting polynomials. You must honor, respect this negative, minus, subtraction symbol between your grouping symbols or your parentheses. So remember, this is going to be a polynomial. This is going to be a polynomial. That negative, minus, subtraction symbol in the middle of or in between the polynomials must be honored. You're essentially multiplying by a -1 and you are distribute, can't spell, okay, distribute that -1 into every term that is in the second or the polynomial that follows. Okay, not just the first, but you have to do every term that's inside. Okay, so here, this is where the little common mistakes come up. So you gotta be careful. Okay, vertical format, horizontal format. Again, I'll do both. Okay, so find the difference. Remember, difference is the answer you get from subtracting, right? Okay, write this in standard form. It already is. So 6a cubed plus 12a squared minus 15a. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and go to the second. Okay, remember, this negative is like a -1 distribution. So this negative needs to get multiplied into every term in that second polynomial. Okay, and in this case, it's a trinomial, so we're going to actually use that -1 3 times, right? Okay, so what happens then? Let's do it in a separate marker, actually. Okay, so this is like a -1, so I'm going to write it with this marker. Okay, so negative times positive 4a squared is -4a squared. Right, and again, you have to align it vertically. -1 times a -12a is a positive 12a. -1 times a positive 8 is a -8. And so now you distributed the -1 correctly, and so now you can go ahead and combine like terms. Okay, so now you're just going to go ahead and honor the signs. You're just going to add downward, okay? So 6a cubed, 12 minus 4 is 8a squared. -15 positive 3 is -3a, and then that is -8. And that is your answer in standard form. Okay, keep going. Okay, as far as your horizontal format, you're just going to write it in a line, 6a cubed plus 12a squared minus 15a. And then again, let's grab that marker. You're just going to distribute that -1. So -1 times 4 is -4a squared, negative positive 12a, negative positive -8. And then you just from there combine your like terms. So I have an a cubed, so 6a cubed. I have an a squared and an a squared, so 12 minus 4 is 8a squared. A term, -3a, and then of course I have my constant. And so there is your standard form answer. And they both match. Put the guys on top of each other. They both match. So again, it's just your preference. Okay. Okay, this one's just really quick. Let me just do it because 4x minus 1. I know some of these videos will be long and some of them will be short, but you got to do them. Okay, so here I get -2 minus 8x. And in the future on some of these, you're going to have to turn in notes. So you're going to have to turn these in for credit and it'll be an assignment. Okay, minus 4x minus 3. Yeah. Okay, and then of course the horizontal format. Let's keep the same. I like markers. I like writing in colors. Okay, and so now just combine, right? You have your x term. 4x minus 8x is -4x, minus 1, minus 2, -3. And so again, you get the same answer. Okay, so the assignment, I'm going to turn off this video, post it. The assignment, you can print the worksheet or you can do the work on a separate sheet of paper. I know printing's like expensive, especially if you're going to take this course. Like obviously we have what, 21 days together, 22 total. I get it if you do not want to print. So we'll hurry up and get to that. Okay. All right. Bye.